Ever get that feeling like you stumbled on something and it's like, whoa, this is it. This is the key to everything.
Like a magic key.
Yeah, kind of. For Manjiro, this young Japanese guy trying to make sense of America in the 1800s, that key wasn't some treasure map or a ship's wheel. It was a book.
A book,
It
Rob.
really was, but not just any book. We're talking the New American Practical Navigator. Imagine being captivated by, like, a super technical manual.
Not exactly a page-turner.
Right. But for Manjiro, it was everything. This book, it meant knowledge. It was a way back home, maybe even power,
Right.
to control his own destiny.
It's incredible how the author takes this totally ordinary object, a book, and makes it represent all of Manjiro's ambition. It wasn't just about, oh, I'll learn to sail. It was way deeper than that.
He wanted to be the best, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Remember that part where Manjiro's studying the diagrams, tracing the routes with his fingers, practically smelling the ocean? You could feel that yearning, that deep desire.
The book becomes like this physical thing right there in his hands, representing this huge longing for control.
Exactly. And the author, to get at how intense this all was for Manjiro, throws us into these vivid memories. So picture it. Captain Whitfield, basically Manjiro's American father figure, he's just left, leaving Manjiro in charge of the farm.
Wow, so he's totally alone.
Yeah, and as you can imagine, it's lonely. Until baby William arrives.
Oh, a baby.
It's more than that. It's that flood of senses that hits Manjiro when he first holds William. The author even describes the baby's smell as sweet and familiar, and suddenly, Manjiro is transported back to Japan, cradling his own baby sister.
It's amazing how smells can do that.
Isn't it? Like a time machine. You, listener, you know how powerful scent memories can be. It's instant emotions, memories you thought were gone, all come flooding back.
Oh, tell me about it. One whiff of my grandma's cinnamon rolls, and boom, I'm 8 years old again.
Right. And for Manjiro, this baby's scent, it brought back family, that ache of everything he left behind.
So we've got loneliness, we've got these sensory flashbacks, and then through it all, the author shows us all the different kinds of love in Manjiro's life.
Like how he is with baby William, so tender, just like with his own family back in Japan.
But it's more than family, right? There's that obsession with that book, The New American Practical Navigator. It's like he's in love with knowledge, with bettering himself, like a love affair with the future he's building for himself.
Exactly. It's like this driving force. And then there's the mention of this girl.
Ooh, a girl. Tell me more.
See, this is where digging into the source material gets interesting. There's not like a full-blown romance, but you get these hints, a blush, a glance at a gathering, something's brewing there.
Makes you wonder about her,
Yeah.
What was she like? And what did she see in this guy caught between two worlds like that?
It really makes you think about what that attraction says about Manjiro. Maybe it's this need for connection, to belong in this new world, to not be so alone.
It's like he's looking for comfort, something solid to hold on to, whether it's taking care of William, burying himself in that book, or even like stealing glances at this mystery girl. It's really deep,
Absolutely. And all these different kinds of love, they weave together this picture of what Manjiro's struggling with. Deep down, how to be Japanese, how to be American, how to be both at the same time. Remember when he dreams of William visiting him in Japan someday?
Yeah, it's like he's building a bridge in his mind.
Yeah.
Right. And speaking of bridges, there's this whole thing with blue eyes in the book.
Oh, yeah, the blue eyes. That's a powerful image in the story, and it changes, At first, blue eyes are bad news to Manjiro. It's what he was raised to think, right? Think about that part where he talks about his grandmother's warnings, those with eyes like the summer sky, she called them.
So those blue eyes, they represent that fear of the unknown, the outsider.
Exactly. And it's a fear that Manjiro felt himself when he first met Captain Whitfield. But then things change, right?
They do. They really do. And it's not just like getting over being afraid of blue eyes. It's bigger than that. He wants to break down those walls, between cultures, see the world in this totally new way.
Exactly. And wanting to understand each other, to connect, that goes right back to Manjiro's ambition, that new American practical navigator thing. It wasn't just, oh, I want to be a captain.
Right. It was about more than the ship, right?
Way more. He was trying to take control of his own life.
He wanted the knowledge, the skills, not just for the ocean, but for everything, right?
Yeah.
For his own future, his identity.
Exactly. He wanted to go back to Japan, not as that scared kid who walked ashore, but as someone totally different. Imagine it, him, on deck, using what he learned to sail back to Urado Bay.
Not just surviving, but thriving.
Yeah.
And it's all happening while he's still dealing with this huge feeling of being alone.
Oh, absolutely. Captain Whitfield's gone. He keeps getting those memories of Japan, that baby smell reminding him of his sister. It all adds up.
It makes those feelings of wanting to belong, to connect, even stronger.
You're right, it adds this a whole other layer to what Manjiro's going through. It's not just about
Yeah.
figuring out how to sail, it's love loss. Figuring out who he is in a world that doesn't make it easy.
And that brings us right back to that book, The New American Practical Navigator. It was huge for him, obviously.
Yeah.
It's a way home, yeah, it's skills, but it's more than that, right? It's like
Mhm.
this weapon against all the fear and uncertainty of being stuck between two worlds.
Exactly. He thought, if I can just crack this, really understand this complicated thing, then maybe I can bridge that gap. The Japanese part of me, the American part.
Like knowledge was the bridge.
Exactly. It connected him to everything and everyone he left behind, but also pushed him towards what he wanted to become.
So instead of picking one side, Japan or America, he wanted both.
That's what's so cool about his story. He didn't ditch one for the other. He wanted both, to make them fit, even though it seemed impossible.
He wasn't looking for the easy way out. He wanted to be true to himself, the whole messy package. Like that part where Manjiro talks about William coming to Japan one day, but not as a scary foreigner.
But as a friend, right, with those liquid blue eyes, a good thing, showing how strong their connection was, even though they were from different cultures.
It really makes you think, about how much things have changed, how we see each other now.
It really does. Makes you wonder, what happened next? Did William ever actually sail to Japan? Did he show up with those bright blue eyes, not as a stranger, but as like a symbol of that bond they formed?
And Manjiro, did he ever figure out how to be both Japanese and American? Did he find love, build a life, bridge those two worlds?
It's like the author leaves us hanging, right?
Right.
But at the same time, it makes you imagine the possibilities, you know? Did all that studying, all that dedication to that book, The New American Practical Navigator, did it actually work? Did he use it to find his way back home?
Or maybe something totally unexpected happened. Life's funny that way.
That's what makes Manjiro's story so powerful, you know? Even without all the answers, it makes you think about the really big stuff. Hope, ambition, what it means to be connected to other people, even when life throws you curveballs.
It reminds us that sometimes the best stories don't tie everything up in a neat little bow. They leave you with questions, things to chew on.
Exactly. And as we wrap up this deep dive into Manjiro's world, let's leave you with this. What are the navigators in your own life, listener? The things you hold on to, the people, the things you believe in that help you figure out this crazy thing called life.
Now that's something to think about. And on that note, we'll say goodbye for today. Thanks for joining us on this incredible journey into Manjiro's story. Until next time, keep exploring.